Okay, hello guys, let's give this a go. This tutorial is going to be on advanced key signature and tempo events within Pro Tools. Hopefully this should help you out somewhat when it comes to composing music for film, whether that be your composition for Corpse Bride or your dance collaboration. I'm just going to run through a few advanced techniques in order to implement key changes and tempo events in a number of different ways. This is stuff you'll encounter on the Avid courses should you study up to operator level. So this is good stuff to know. Alright, so I've got a MIDI clip here with a C major scale in it. Control and plus equals to open up the MIDI editor, by the way. If I unmute this, I should be able to hear the mini grand. With the lovely click track that I'll just mute for now. Okay, so there's our C major scale. Alright, what if we were to duplicate this a couple of times? Well, let's just duplicate it once for now using Command D. What if we wanted to implement a key change for this second time that the MIDI clip runs through? So we'll implement a key change at bar 3. So we would press Control, and see when I hold Control down, this turns into a hand with a plus sign, and we can just enter a key change here in the key ruler. So currently we're in C major. Pro Tools defaults to C major, as you'll know. If we decide that we want to change to D major, it's going to happen at bar 3, and we decide whether we want it to run until the next key signature. The next time we do one, we can do a specified range, so we could change it just until bar 6, for example, or we can go right to the end of the session, and we'll choose to snap right to the bar. So if I selected somewhere up here where I originally pressed Control and pressed in the ruler, if I selected not on one of the bars, then this option would enable it to be snapped exactly onto the bar. Alright, so these options here are based around how long you want this key change to be in effect for within your session. I'm just going to select next key signature for now. Okay, so what about this edit pitched tracks option? Well, this is the important bit really. After we've decided how long we want our key signature to be in effect for on the ruler, we need to decide if we want these pitched tracks, and whether tracks are pitched or unpitched, I'll come on to later. We need to decide whether we want these pitched tracks to be edited, and by that we mean, do we want the MIDI information to alter based on the key signature that we implement? I would suggest that you almost always would want that to happen. Otherwise, I can't think of too many other reasons off the top of my head now why you would even want to implement a key signature change. So, edit pitch tracks. This transpose option is now not grayed out. It's available to edit for us. So, we can choose to transpose the MIDI information in the MIDI clips that come after the key signature change, either up or down. At the minute, don't worry too much about this diatonically or chromatically. I'll come on to this later. I'm just going to leave it on diatonically at the minute. So, we've chosen D major as our new scale. We've chosen for it to happen from bar 3 until the next key signature, i.e. the next time we enter a key signature event. We've chosen it to snap to the bar. It's going to snap to bar 3, and we've chosen to edit the pitch tracks, and we're going to transpose up diatonically. Alright, so let's see what happens to the information when we click OK. Okay, so you should have seen there that this MIDI clip moved. Well, it didn't exactly move, but the information within the MIDI clip did move. So let's listen to it now in comparison to the first C major scale. Okay, so you should be able to hear there, the C major scale has now changed up to the D major scale based on this key signature event that we've input here. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly undo that, and then we'll try something else. So let's enter a key signature change at the same place, and this time I'm going to choose a minor key. Okay, so I'll choose F sharp minor this time. I'm going to leave all of this stuff the same as last time. I'm going to edit pitch tracks, and I'm going to choose up diatonically again, and let's see what happens, okay? Okay, so it's moved again. We should be able to hear it's gone up to F sharp minor. It has indeed gone up to F sharp minor. I'm quickly going to undo that again, and this time, when I enter the key signature event, I'm going to edit the pitch tracks and I'm going to go up chromatically. So this time, the MIDI information is going to move up towards F sharp minor now that I've correctly selected it here. But now that I've chosen chromatically, the MIDI information, the MIDI notes, are going to move up, but they're going to keep their relative spaces between them, the relative intervals, if you like. They're going to maintain those relative intervals, okay? So even though I've chosen a minor scale as my new key signature, you're not going to hear an F sharp minor scale, okay? You're going to hear an F sharp major scale because I've chosen to move up chromatically. Listen to this. Okay, very different to the last time. Alright, if we decide that we want to edit one of these key signature changes at any point, all we do is double click the event within the ruler, and we can edit this to maybe be an A major instead. Okay, we can remove them by holding Alt, like that, and taking them out. Now, you'll notice, if I just put a couple more, actually I tell you what, I'll cancel that. I'm just going to duplicate this. If I put a couple more key signature changes in here, I'm going to go to G major and this one, and then this one I'm going to go to B minor. Okay, so we get a C major scale followed by a G major scale and then a B minor. Let's have a listen to that first, without the track muted. Okay, so you will have noticed before that when I take one of these out by holding Alt and pressing, we get some options. So we get the options again to edit the pitched tracks. Now the reason for this is because when we remove this key signature event is going to be the last one impacting upon these two MIDI clips that come after it. So we need to decide how we want this MIDI information to be transposed, the MIDI information that's currently a B minor scale. So if we transpose down diatonically, this B minor scale is going to become a G major scale. Let's give it a go. Oops. Alright, let's undo that. If we take this one out, but this time we go down chromatically, this B minor scale is going to become a G minor scale. Okay, so there again is the difference between transposing diatonically or chromatically. Okay, so one last thing to mention before we move on to the tempo changes. I said before that when implementing a key signature event that I didn't see much point in putting one in there but not transposing the MIDI information. There are a few cases where you may want to implement a key change but have certain tracks not transpose their MIDI information, and those are things like drum machines and samplers where you have different sounds mapped to different MIDI notes. I've got a kick drum here on X-Band 2, and that kick is triggered by a specific MIDI note. If I go to this track playlist selector here and I change this, well, it's currently unpitched. I'll leave it unpitched for now, just so you can see the difference that it makes. If I enter a key signature event here, I'll just choose D major, and we'll choose edit pitch tracks like we have been before. It's going to go up diatonically. Notice that the kick drum MIDI clip that's come after this key signature event, the MIDI information's moved. So we'll hear the kick drum for these two bars, and then it'll disappear for the next 2 bars. Okay, so that's not what you want, so I'm going to undo that. So you would need to make sure that you go to the track playlist selector here and choose unpitched for tracks like that. Alright, so if I enter a key signature changed here, edit pitched tracks, notice that the command is edit pitched tracks, so only the tracks that you've currently selected to be pitched are going to change. This MIDI information up here moves, and the kick drum down here stays exactly the same. Alright, okay, so I'm going to move on to a new video for the tempo changes. So practice those techniques. If you go to Blackboard in the same folder that you found this video, you'll find the list of tasks. So go through those tasks and then move on to the next video.